Alrighty, mate. Let's have a chat about your session. Couple of things that I want to work on. I really like your takeoff. I really like positioning and stuff. It was good to see you jump on this smaller board. I do think you would even benefit from an even smaller board. Just wanted to point out this little backside bottom turn here to start off with. We talked about that on the surf skate, just to bring your trailing arm down a little bit, so that instead of forcing the body to rotate down, it will force the body to rotate back up the wave. See how my trailing arm there stays nice and low in the counterweight position, and that's just a much more it's a much more advantageous position to move from. So if we sort of compare these two side by side, notice here how that first initial turn really gets me into the power zone. We talked about surfing high on the wave. So it's a different wave, obviously, but what this does, it then puts me in a more empowered position with more speed to get around that first section. What you did was you took off straight and didn't really get high. So to then get around this quick section at the start. So just picking a slightly higher and more urgent line can then really have a big impact on the rest of the ride, because we saw that you ended up being quite stuck behind this section on the back end. Cool, so to open up the turn here, this is actually looking not too bad. I like where the arm is there. One thing I'd like to do is sort of flip that front palm a little bit and you be looking slightly higher. Again, because of where the turn started there, you ended up being sort of out of position and a little bit behind the section. So we really want to try and fix that if we can. And again, here with the arm, that trailing arm, just sort of covering your body and rotating you down instead of up. That's something we can definitely work on the surf skate. And I think by the end of the surf skate, you definitely sort of clicking that together. Cool. So that's all sort of coming back to that original line, just to push you in front of the section. It's important to just get nice and high on the wave to really throw yourself up there. So if I was to draw a line, separating the top and bottom of the wave there, you'd be in that lower half, that non-power zone, compared to me being in the top half. Cool, so this is later on. Again, with that back arm, see how it's also in alignment with the back foot, and as a result, you're stalling the board instead of being evenly distributed to throw yourself up into a maneuver. We really want to nup those that weight distribution in the legs so that I can see more of an even spread of your surfboard there, from nose to tail, as opposed to just seeing the nose of the board. And that'll happen once you get a little bit lower and pull that arm in a little bit as well. Cool, but that was quite a nice wave. Cool, so there's that arm again, just zooming in there. We really want to keep that nice and low. Think about sort of hanging it out at more belly button level, as opposed to allowing it to come up by your head there. Cool, again, nice coordination there. I feel like, your surfboard is quite long. It's making everything easy for you to catch waves and the rest of it, but it would be cool to sort of start to see you progress to a smaller board. Now, let's sort of have a look at the maneuver situation here. So this is quite good. I like that takeoff. I like how I can see your hand on the face of the wave, nice and low. But see how you went into an extension there and you didn't really get back into a compression? It's important because the compression there really sets up the maneuver. The extension is only good and helpful if there is a compression before it. So if we sort of look at these side by side, similar sort of sections to deal with, what we're looking at is the entry into the maneuver. Notice how surfer on the left over here, which is me as a goofy, I'm nice and low. I'm eyeing off the section from a low point of view, and then I end up pointing at the section. So you can see quite a significant difference now. Because I've been lower, I've rotated more and I'm now approaching the section more vertically. So it's really key to pick up that tennis ball, off the face of the wave. Allow your hand to drag on the face of the wave. That's how you know you're low enough to really go up and pick your rotation and work out a healthy line to approach your maneuver in. Cool, so that was a good little opportunity there too. Just again, see how you sort of went into the turn extended and then compressed within it. It's not always a bad thing in those sort of lip line maneuvers, but again, just with the eye line and with the overall pointing to where you want to go and the compression, that's really what we want to work towards. So think about getting low at the bottom, high at the top, and allowing the eyes and the leading hand to really drive the turn. But that was quite a nice little wave there. A little claim. Cool. So you ended up picking off some really nice waves. If anything, I want to see more of it. So I just want to see you loosen up a little bit with it. It could be cool to see you actually drop back to a smaller board, just to see how that would work. I wouldn't mind being able to see you on that 6-foot board that you were talking about. I feel like if anything, it's going to open up your repertoire a little bit more. Like if we sort of look here, see how you're sort of sitting low on the wave instead of moving into that power zone back and forth. I feel like, that's something that's going to open up to you with better wave selection and being on a bigger left, but also with a more maneuverable board. So yeah, see how you go with those. Remember to get low, keep that trailing arm down on the back end. Here are the rest of your rides. I'll chat to you soon. Cheers.